Hey guys, it's Leesh, and welcome to another episode of Car Confessions. As you can see, I'm not in my car, but I wanted to hop on just to let you guys know that this week was the Car Confessions was just not happening in the car. I had so much going on, trying to call my insurance to get stuff taken care of. Y'all, listen, insurance, it's intense, but luckily it worked in my favor. And I will say this as it relates to insurance, guys, if you are in a space where you're struggling with your insurance, and you know that you're being wrongfully charged for something, you know, policies have not been paid, whatever that looks like, please stay on that stuff because you do not want to be in a position where you will potentially have to pay back something because of the negligence of maybe a provider or whatever that looks like. Just stay on it. Can't stress that enough, like major. So yeah, that's what was going on in the car when I was supposed to be doing car confessions, was getting all this stuff taken care of with my insurance and making sure that I wasn't being charged wrongfully in the process. Because let me tell you something, if you don't fight that stuff, they're not giving you your money back. Like, unless you fight it, right? And you say, hey, I was wrongfully charged. Sometimes they're pretty good about it, but a lot of times, if you don't stand up and say anything, they're not going to give you that money back. So definitely make sure you're doing that. But besides that, guys, how are you? What's going on? Hopefully you're doing well. I am really excited. I feel like this Black History Month has been one of the best ever. So many wonderful things have happened this month so far for Black history. One of those things being the Kendrick Lamar halftime special. Listen, I know a lot of people have different feelings about it. I, for one, was so happy to see him representing not only himself, but being a voice for the majority of Black people in this country. And the reason why I say majority, because there were some people who are Black who were not happy about the performance. And to that, I say, listen, to each its own. And every Black person is not the same. Like every white person is not the same. Like not every Asian person. You know what I'm saying? Like we're all individuals. But as a collective, for me and what I've known as Black culture and what the Black struggle has looked like, it was a work of art that will be talked about for years and years to come. I'm not going to sit here and try and break down all the things because let's be serious, that's not what I'm getting ready to do. But what I will say is, if you haven't had the chance to really investigate what the true, like what the different meanings were behind certain things that he did, definitely take the time to look into that. But thank you, Kendrick, because that was phenomenal. Like phenomenal. On another note, though, guys, these Beyonce tickets, what? It has been so crazy getting these tickets. I don't know what's the deal. Well, actually, I do know what's the deal. She's not doing as many performances. And, you know, people made such a stew about, this album, Cowboy Carter, that, it wasn't that great, this, that, and the other. Out now because, it was so terrible. It's hard to get tickets, and there's the pricing of them is out of control. I'm praying a miracle takes place and I can go to the concert. If not, listen, I will bask in the glow when it comes on whatever platform it's going to come on. Whether she does another a thing where it goes into the movie theaters, I'll be there for that. But I can't afford anything that's like 4,000. I saw a ticket, y'all, for $4,000. I was like, what? I mean, that was just one ticket. That wasn't like a bundle, nothing to that extent. So we'll see what happens, right? I know my kid wants to go to Kendrick, so we have to, get our tickets for Kendrick. Looked at those tickets the other day. They don't look as pricey as Beyonce's, but listen, who knows? Who knows? You never know. It's so much going on in the world right now, guys. So much going on, and some of these things are so outlandish that it's just like we are living in some type of crazy TV show. Or like, what was that Candid Camera? Like, I feel like the camera should come out and be like, huh, guys, we were joking. Like, we're gonna go back to normal living. This was all a prank, right? Just kidding. Because the stuff that we're seeing and hearing and experiencing in this country right now, unreal. Unreal. So much so, I had to bring up the conversation that was taking place with Elon Musk during the press conference. For those who don't know, there was a press conference that was held the other day where Trump, Elon Musk, a few other people that were in the Oval Office, and Elon Musk's son X, they're all here in this. They're all at the press conference, right? Now, keep in mind, Elon Musk is his son is like 4 years old. Okay, so 4 years old, right? Like he is a child. You know what I'm saying? And if you listen to the video that shows little X, he is either saying to President Trump, like, you're not the president, go away, or something to that effect. I can't remember verbatim. Or he's either saying, like, you don't, what did it, someone else was saying, like, you don't scare me or intimidate me. It was something to that degree, go away. Somewhere in that vein, right? And this is where children and adult conversations should not mix, right? Because kids are sponges. And if they hear you talking shit about people, now not all kids do this, but there are some that will basically say what you've said about that person to that person's face. Because, I mean, for the most part, kids aren't two faced. Like, they don't, that nuance doesn't really kick in for a while, right? Unless you've kind of like had to deal with certain things where you have to figure out how to navigate spaces. That's a whole other story, right? But for the average 4 year old, they're going to tell you how they feel. They're going to say what they have to say and keep it pushing. Like, don't even take it personal. But I know if this is what this little boy said to Donald Trump, I know Donald Trump is losing his mind because not only did a 4 year old berate you, he did this on national television. And dare I say, this went beyond the national media. This is all over the world that people probably saw this, right? Sheer, like, I don't know, like the feeling that he had, the embarrassment, the sheer embarrassment, there it is, that he must have felt at that time. A 4 year old? And not even that, like this little 4 year old is like, please, if you haven't seen this video, please go on any platform, even some of the news platforms, they've posted it because it is that crazy. Okay, that this little child is one in the Oval Office, and he is just able to just be a 4 year old in the Oval Office. So there's that. Little X just meandering and living his best life in the Oval Office, but then his father basically monopolizing the whole conversation during this press conference, which was beyond me. Because I'm like, you are a regular citizen. And I said that in quotes because from what I know, this fool is not even supposed to be here. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think he's supposed to be in this country. He's illegally here at this point. Like I said, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think I am. So you've got this fool who is really not supposed to be here in the Oval Office calling the shots. Your child is like playing romper room in the Oval Office? What? Guys, which brings me back to my point from the get go. This whole situation is like the worst prank TV show ever. Like, what are we doing? Like, how can we be taken serious as a country given we just have some rando dude, you know what I'm saying, deciding to just, make himself comfortable in the Oval Office. And not even that, go through personal information of ours as well to determine budgets and what needs to be cut and this, that, and the other. Sir, have all the seats. Have a seat. Who are you? I get it. You are the richest man in the world, but guess what? You're not the president, and you are not someone who holds any office that should be even looking at this particular documentation. I'm a healthcare provider. And even as a healthcare provider, if I'm not providing care to a patient that may be, when I was working in the clinical setting, if I'm not providing care for a patient that's, not my patient that I'm working with, I have no right to look at another patient's chart because I'm curious or whatever. No, that is not for me to do. That goes against everything ethically and legally as a provider. So if I can't do that, and I'm a healthcare provider that actually works in these types of settings where there's confidential information, that confidentiality only doesn't like, go to where it's like at this extended amount of access that I have. I am only going to my patients and their charts and looking at their information because I'm providing care for those patients. You know what I'm saying? So if that applies to me as a healthcare provider, how in the world are you just some rando with no qualifications for any type of budgeting, anything that I'm aware of? I mean, you are a businessman, but I'm pretty sure you have people upon people managing your money and managing your business's money. You know what I'm saying? Are we thinking any of this through, friends? Like this is beyond bananas. Like beyond bananas. I don't know, guys. This is, like I said, this is probably one of the craziest reality TV shows that we have experienced in a long time. I don't know what's going to happen moving forward, but I know this isn't sustainable. And I know Elon Musk and Donald Trump are doing some illegal shit. And my thing is, when will the courts, and I know there's a lot of lawsuits out here right now. He's being sued for several things. And now I'm thinking about maybe we just have to wait, play it out. Like it's not this quick boom, get it over and you're out of here kind of thing. That requires a lot of investigation. You have to, put together evidence, all this stuff. I think just for me, and I'm pretty sure some other people feel this way. I am done. I'm tired. I'm tired of this shit. Like I've had it. Like how much more do we have to endure to stroke a white man's ego? Yeah, like this is because here's the thing too. Yes, you got to go through all the processes, checks and balances, this, that, and the other. But if this was a black man, I'm sorry, if this was a black man in the Oval Office doing not even a third of what these fools have done, he would have been hung from some oak tree or wherever tree that's close enough. And that would have been the end of it. And they would have found ways rather, to justify that whole situation, right? It's beyond me. I personally am tired of white men being able to do, say, and just monopolize in ways that are just so unlawful, so unethical, and we just have to accept it. At what point are we going to stand up and say, you know what? This is bullshit. We are done. This is our money that you're playing with. You know what I'm saying? Like the Monopoly game that we're playing right now. Listen, when I used to play Monopoly when I was a kid, if I was losing, no, I flipped the board. I was done. And let the chips fall where they may. Were people upset? Yes, they were upset. But guess what? The game was over. And if you want to start the game again, start it, but start it without me. And I think at some point, if we continue with this, fuckery and foolishness, enough of us are going to get tired and flip the board. And I say, let the chips fall where they may, for real. Because this is bananas. Like this is just straight up malarkey. You know what I'm saying? Like what is going on? It's ridiculous. We as Americans, we deserve more. We deserve more than what we are getting at this point. As much money as we pay out in taxes and all the things here in this country, living in New York City, if it's not the taxes, it's the tolls. If it's not the tolls, it's the tickets. You know what I'm saying? I can go on and on and on, constantly being, your pockets ran dry. And for what? So these big corporations and these big wigs in these corporations just continue to like fill their pockets, and then they want to claim Christianity or some type of religion in the process of it all. And let me tell you something. Greed is a sin. It's a sin. Being greedy is a sin. So where's the Christianity in any of the stuff that's happening in this country? Greed is a sin. Treating people like they're not humans in this country, a sin. The hate, the spewing of just nastiness, that's not of God by any means. And I don't know what God you're serving. You claim you are a follower of Jesus Christ. I've never seen in the Bible anywhere where Jesus was out here carrying on like this. This is crazy. For realsies. So guys, I don't know who's gonna flip the Monopoly board, which ones of us, but keep me posted. You know what I'm saying? For realsies. All right, guys. Happy Black History Month. And listen, let's just keep on learning more and more about the amazing things that Black people have done, not just in this country, but across the world. Black people are awesome. And it's not just because I'm one of them. We are. We're awesome people. We're resilient people. We are magic. And I love that we have this opportunity to really shine a light on that this month and, throughout the whole year. But I love that we get this opportunity to do it here in February. It shows our magic. And it shows even more so how magical we are because of the frustration that lies within people who hate the fact that we have Black History Month. I say, let's keep on celebrating. Let's keep on showing how amazing we are. Because the more that we do that, you just can't deny it. You cannot. Who in the world do you know is constantly revered and people want to know the latest and greatest of what we are doing? But then you want to treat us like second, not even second, I'd say fifth class citizens sometimes. It's ridiculous. So I celebrate all of my Black people this month and every day. Let's just continue to be our amazing selves and shine brighter than they could ever imagine. And don't let the things that they think are going to bring us down, because we're so much more powerful than what they could ever do to us, even beyond death. I believe that in so many ways. All right, y'all. I love you. And like I say, y'all, let's just keep on keeping on. All right. I love you. I'll see you next week.